On this day a year ago, Hamas launched a large-scale and brutal attack on Israel, marking one of the deadliest days in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in recent decades. We're joined by Dr. Jilan Abdalmajid, Palestinian Ambassador to Ireland. Thank you for joining us, Ambassador. Obviously, the
Thank
last
you.
year has been really traumatic. Awful things have happened. And we know Israel has been widely condemned for how it has acted in the last year. But there's no doubt that the trigger for everything was that attack this day 12 months ago.
This is how you think about it, and many of the whole world think about it. But the Palestinian, 13 million Palestinian, half of them live in Palestine. They see that colonization, oppression over more than 7 decades that brought this to the Palestinian. We see that the history of colonization and oppression brought this to the Palestinians, and Israel take the justification of the world to the right of self-defense to bring this brutality and this unfair war against the Palestinians. What we see, it's unjustified.
Yeah, and I think many people will agree that what has happened since is unjustified, and we will be putting those points to a spokesperson for Israel later in the programme. And many people will accept your point about the historical context and what has happened over the last 50 years. But does that justify attacking a rock concert with children or kids, basically young adults, partying there, the beheading, the raping of innocent civilians? Does that justify what happened on this day
Um,
12 months ago?
the people who are really, suffer for years from, talking about specifically on Gaza, 17 years of blockade, Israel. There is generation was born during this. They don't know what's going on. It's an open Israeli, like an open prison. This I listen. I don't want to talk about justification or giving the killing is justified. No one justify killing, and from the beginning we said, and I don't want to repeat it and just spend the whole interview saying that any human being wouldn't accept the killing of an innocent or taking hostage of an innocent. But what about these people who are taking hostages? Like I repeated this, these 2 millions in Gaza taken hostage by Israel, and this genocidal war brought Gaza to unlivable place. It's very intense. It's very relentless. Anything linked to stability has been shattered. They attack schools, hospital. There is no health system. And the majority of the people who were killed are women and children. 16,000 and more children has been killed. Why? This is the big questions. It is a failure of international community for 1 year not able to stop this vicious war against the Palestinians. This is how I see it. I wouldn't, after 1 year and see what's going on in the region, you will never convince me that I will see any other picture except the suffering of my people. This is what I will see, and this is I will talk about.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, we have to talk about everything, and we will be putting those questions to the Israeli spokesperson, and we have no problem doing so. And I think any right-minded person would look at what's happened over the last year and say it is unjustifiable, and what has happened to the Palestinian people has been outrageous and wrong. And we can talk about the failures of the international community, but we do also have to talk about the events of this day 12 months ago. And innocent people were butchered on that day. And I can't not ask you questions in relation to that.
You can ask me question, and I will say the same story of the Palestinians, of the suffering of the Palestinians. You cannot just accept colonization of your land, stealing your land, attacking your people, killing the people without any justification, to let the people think that this is normal. For decades now, the international community, how many resolution was adopted in the United Nations, how many times the international community talk about peace. We accepted this and we compromised the 22% of Palestine, and then still Israel insists that they don't accept any people in this land except the
Okay,
Jewish people.
let's look to
This is
let's look to the
like,
future.
this is
Let's look to the future. Do you have any hope of any stage in the future there being a peaceful resolution to this
I mean,
conflict?
like, I always keep this hope because this is the normality of a human being. This is how a human being think. We always see that there is a better future is coming. But as well, when I see that it's like after 1 year, no one even take one step, one move to stop this, and I see that this war extended to the region, going to Lebanon, attacking the people of Lebanon. I know that how Israel is thinking. They wanted like to protect themselves, but as well, if you don't, if you continue to deny the rights of the Palestinians, that as well they have the right to exist, they have the right to live in peace. This is something that both Israelis and the Palestinian think, that I want to protect my people, but you have to take the right step, not the wrong step.
Dr. Jilan Abdalmajid, Palestinian Ambassador to Ireland, thank you for talking to News Talk Breakfast this morning.